So we're back again installing another composite door. That's just an image to show how small the door is and the architrave on the face of the frame. We start by cutting the internal plaster, and then we cut through the timber with the jigsaw, taking the low alley thresher out. Out comes the old timber that were rotten. This door is heavily rendered with K-render, as you can see, so we had to take our time getting this door out. All in width, I couldn't make the door any smaller, but I also couldn't make the door any wider because it wouldn't go behind the render. So we do get it out pretty systematically on this one. As you know, we like a nice clean area to work in. And then we cut the sill. On this one, it is pretty much a straight cut. We don't get it on camera, but it's a bit of a reverse joggle. We're just setting the blue sheet up now, so when we cut the sill, all the trimmings end up on the blue sheet, saves us cleaning up after. And then we leveled the sill, so it's nice and straight. We're putting the bar handle on, inside and outside. This is an 800mm smaller circular bar handle. When you're installing the bar handle, you don't want to over tighten the bolts because it can squash the door slab. But when you're putting the internal bar handle on, you do want to tighten the grub screws pretty tight, because otherwise the bar handle will fall off and hit the customer in the head, which we don't want that. And then we foam and silicone seal the sill down, seal the sides and the top of the sill, so no water gets in on the inside. And as I said, this one is pretty small in width because of the opening. It's just, I couldn't do anything about it, but it's a nice snug fit. And then we like to use sleeve fixings because you get a better fix, especially for composite doors and especially for the top hinge. And that way then the concrete fixings won't come out the brick when you keep operating the door. Checking the door twist is the most important part. Another sleeve fixing going in. On the lock side, we do like to aim the fixings ever so slightly down, and that way then it pulls the frame onto the sill because there's no weight there. If you don't aim the fixings down, it's easy to end up with the frame hovering the sill without you knowing. And as always, you need to make sure the frame is nice and straight. So sometimes you do have to open and close the door, pack it a little bit more, 1 mil here, 1 mil there. It doesn't mean it's going badly. It's just sometimes that's how long it takes, just fine tuning the door to get the correct internal gaps. Otherwise, the door won't work correctly. So as you can see, Declan now, he just tried it, but the internal gaps were still too wide. So he's taking it back out, slacking the screws, adding another 1 mil packer, and then eventually we'll get it straight. It's so important to make sure the frame's straight. It's so easy to think, oh, it'll do. But if it's even 1 mil out, then it'll stop the door working correctly. You'll either get a draft or the door will bang. So it is really important just to keep checking it, and just it takes as long as it takes. So now he's adjusting the latch to take it in or out, so to see if it's tight enough to the gasket, but it's also not too tight. Because if it's too tight, the thumb turn and the key it'll grind. It'll be hard to operate the key. Obviously, we need to form it up now, inside and outside if there's any gaps. Nice clean working area. And once we've cleaned up, we're ready to silicone seal it, the part that everybody wants to see. So as you can see, we like to use masking tape. Obviously, this is quite a tricky one. We're sealing up with black silicone against the cream render paint. So if the silicone's not perfectly straight, it will show up on the render. Obviously, I'm sure everybody watching is they always like their input on silicone, because everybody can always do it better. But that's we're just doing our best. I'd like to say we do okay, but obviously everybody's got a different opinion. As you can see, the masking tape just leaves that perfect straight edge. I think it looks much better than doing it freehand. Just use a bit of glass cleaner for lube. I know some people like to use those silicone sticks, but I can't just get used to them, so I just prefer the good old-fashioned finger the mastic method. I say that's pretty straight. When you're siliconing sealing a door as well, you do have to have it slightly wider than what you would on a window, because obviously every time the door shuts, if the silicone is only a little tiny bead, then the silicone will break with the rattle of the door. So I do like to put a slightly bigger seal on for that reason, so it lasts permanently even when the door's operated. The internal gap's looking spot on. And that's how to install a composite door. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share, and we'll see you on the next one.